What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gym Business Podcast. We're going to talk about whether to go alone or have someone help you along the way.
Welcome to the Gym Business Podcast, where you get insights, tips, tricks, and tactics to open your own gym or grow your own existing fitness business. Your hosts, Ben Cremis and Evan Lindsay.
Yeah, this is something that I was thinking about recently. So if you're opening a business, a gym, right, should you go it alone? Or even if you have one, should you keep going it alone? Or should you convert to a franchise or license or something like we do? Or should you open as a franchise or license? Like, what are the big pros and cons of each one of those? It's like, it goes back and forth, right? Like on your own, you've got, sure, some flexibility, some freedoms. Obviously you want to be like, wake up on a Tuesday and be like, I'm making this thing purple. Like, you can just go ahead and make that thing purple and put a food truck outside and like serve, kebabs and whatever the heck you want. Or you could go another route and know exactly what to do, proven, tested. I don't know. It just kind of goes back and forth.
So what was your experience? I'm curious. So when you got started, you went on your own. What did you find? What was the hardest thing with going on your own at the start?
Yeah, so that's interesting because, that's kind of what I wanted to bring up. Because, if you go on your own and you open a business, I think that there's two routes, and one of them actually isn't even on your own. So, let's say you go and you open, Susie's gym, right? Susie opens her gym, and she figures everything out on her own. She goes through all the trial and error, all the pain, all the blood, all the potentially going out of business 5 times a year, all that stuff, and then somehow breaks through and makes it, and hopefully making it and being at least like a 6-figure business, at least making a livable wage, not getting yelled at by your spouse all the time that you're not making enough money and go get a real job and your family and all that. Actually made it, right? So let's say that one, which is, what is that? Like a 85% fail rate, right? But then if I think about how I did it, I don't know if I could say I went on my own, because sure, we started strong together, had Achieve 24 before that, and we went on our own. But I remember one of the first things I did when I opened was who can help me? Right? It was where do I get this information? And it was what conference is going on? What's a conference? There was no Facebook at the time. It's where do I go to get information? And it's and that was it. And that just set me down. It's who can I just give money to please tell me what to do? So it's it's kind of interesting because so did I go on my own? I don't know. But I did, but I kind of didn't because I was always looking for people. So I paid the price no matter what. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. What I heard was when you got started, the biggest thing was pre-Facebook. Your house was powered when you rode a bike, because this was a while ago. Totally kidding.
Yeah.
But it was just those resources weren't there. It wasn't the same as it is now. So you had to literally leave your house to go find stuff. But at the same time, even if it was going it alone, not having a franchise, it's you still had to pay so much and had to put in so much sweat equity and time, and then try and cobble together all of the information to make it happen. So it's not that you didn't commit and didn't pay for it. You did, but it was just in a roundabout way.
Yeah. So, and if it's just interesting, right? Because if you look back at it, it's is it equal to if I would have just signed on with a franchise from the start? Because what you pay, sure, you got royalties, you got fees, because you're paying for information, you're paying for speed, right? You're paying for efficiencies, which is exactly what you're doing anyway when you hire a coaching program. I don't know. I think there's a really interesting similarity there.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's funny, right? Because it's when you think of going alone or going with others, it's there's different things that I think you get power from. And if I think of not even in a business sense, but if I look back to playing sports, being an athlete, or even if you're training people that just train on their own, it's not like they don't like seek any of those other things out. But I think there's some of the other aspects of it, right? Because it's like they're looking for the solution, but it's like if they're constantly training on their own or doing their thing on their own, they don't have a community or people around them that are on the same journey, doing the same things, experiencing the same things at the same time. So even similar to you, it's like when I got started, I didn't franchise, I didn't license, but it's like I would go into all these different groups, but it's like everybody was like subtly different and on their own like path. So it's like I was never actually in like a group with people for a long time. So it's like I would go one place until they didn't have any answers, and I would go to this other place, I would go to this other place. Or if I look back to like different times, even like training or even like playing hockey, like if I was training, if I went from like training group to training group to training group, didn't really work that well. But if I was in a group where there was always somebody that I always knew was going to be ahead of me, it always like pulled me forward. So it's not even necessarily like the information, but just the aspect of like, you know, you go far with the pack or there's people always pulling you. That was one of the things that I always found was like when you can commit, you commit to that and somebody's already done the work, but then you're also able to just like see people constantly ahead of you. That's part of what motivates, because, you know, if you're competitive at all, you want to be the big dog. So you're going to keep rolling as opposed to like always seeking out these little groups and finding like hacks. It's like you want to create a little bit of like power along the way and have that kind of be a thing that pulls you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big overlooked part of being part of like a license or like a bigger thing or a franchise, because there's like a leaderboard essentially going on, right? So you can see, and it breaks through all of your beliefs, because like, oh, I can't ever do 30,000 a month. I can't do 40,000 a month. And you're on a call and they're like, yeah, I'm doing 50,000 or 60,000 a month. It's like, oh, well, then you find out like they're a pretty normal person and they're just following the systems that are laid out. And then they get right up to that point. It just breaks through that belief. So then you can then go there. And then obviously there's like that competitive side that goes into it. But I think
like the 4-minute mile, man, right? You can't do a 4-minute mile. Someone breaks a 4-minute mile and all of a sudden it's like you can do that. But if you have access to those people and you're inside of those groups like that, you know, 30,000 is the equivalent to like a 4-minute mile for a lot of people that run a fitness business. They're like, that is not even humanly possible. It's like, they're obviously cheating. It's like, no, they're not.
Yeah. It's doing all the basics, keeping to the basics, putting it all in.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that, because like, what would, you know, like, what's the big reason to go on alone? I think maybe it's like they want to have like their own name and colors, but I think that's about it. I mean, I really think that most people who start on their own, if given like the right situation, like a year in or whatever, they would probably switch, because I don't know, how long does it take, do you think, for people to realize like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be?
So I just remember when I opened my business, and I don't think I was that much different. And I actually grew faster than like 98% of people. That's like a humble brag on fitness business. Those people didn't franchise. First year, we did like 125,000. And I was like, this is not even hard. I'm going to be doing $1 million in no time. And then the next year basically stayed the same. And then the next year was like, all of a sudden I like figured out a bunch of shit and I doubled it, but it was like, it was so freaking painful. And I was like an outlier, having been in this many businesses for this long. Most people don't move that fast. And it was ridiculously painful for me, because I was figuring out the most obvious things that weren't obvious to me. Because I was like, to your point, I was like, I want to have my own stickers, my own colors, my own. And it's like all the things I was worried about was like, do I have a nice logo? And it's like, no one gives a shit at this point. If I had a better logo and I just had a good product, I would be making more money and I would be enjoying myself more. But it's like, I spent so much time worrying about everything that I thought was important, because no one would actually just like smack me in the face and be like, just do this. It's like, oh, yeah. That literally took me 3 years to figure out, just do this.
Yeah. And it's funny, because even like the logo and the paint, that's a pain in the ass. That's hard to figure out. Like when you get that hand, like, it's just interesting because, and I think that like, you know, if you're opening a business to like get into coaching and really help people, like that requires a lot of your attention. Yes. Right. So it's like, but then when you add all this stuff in, like, oh, what colors am I going to do? Like, am I going to earn 3 colors? Am I going to earn 5 colors? Like, what's my thing? Where am I going to get it? Like, what's my logo going to be like? Where am I going to get the logo? Who's going to decide it? I got to have people vote on it. And like, then I got to pull it and I got to check the colors. And it's like, all that.
Oh my God. Who's going to build my website?
Yeah, trademark.
Social media? I have to post? Jesus.
Yeah. And then all of your attention now just starts getting split and split and split. So then like worst case, you start to just hate what you're doing, right? And then you like abandon it, and then like we lose another great trainer in the industry, you know what I mean? Because they just get burnt out. But the point is like all of your attention is getting taken away from like the creative side, and like running the business and taking care of the clients. So
yeah, I agree. I think that's the one thing, right? Because it's like, if I look back at that journey and I look at like other people, it's like the longer you get in that, and I find that from a lot of people, is they're like, I just want to help more people, and I want to have a business that I'm proud of, and I want to be able to live the life that I want. But it's like pretty soon it's like they can't help people because you're trying to figure out all of that little nicky stuff that you're like, does this really matter? Or else it takes so much of your attention, you can't like do the thing that you want to do at the start, which is like help people or help other trainers, because you're focused on like all the little stuff where you're like, oh my God, this sucks. And it's like, those are all like, what is that? The Steve Jobs thing. He wore basically the same shirt every day, so he didn't have to think.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to have like decision fatigue. It's almost like when you run it like for that long, you try to figure it out yourself. It's like every day you wake up trying to figure out like, what do I have to think about today? And it's like every day is something new, and it's like the stuff that can be like kind of easy and obvious, because on the flip side, if your biggest goal is to like just help people and create something that creates the life you want, there's faster ways to do it that way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily right for everybody, but different way.
Well, that's exactly what I mean when I'm going with like that three paths, I think. Like you can either open a business and you go into a license, like you do like a Strong Together Fitness, right? And you go in, do the license, you get the business in a box, you learn exactly how to advertise, HR, legal, like locations, paint, colors, programming, coaching, hiring, staffing, firing, like you name it, right? So you're paying for it, right? You're paying for the speed and the convenience, right? We're paying for conveniences. But then like the other route is, like I was saying before, like you go and pay coaches because you need to get the information. You need to get that accelerated learning somewhere, or else it'll just take you too long. So you pay for some kind of a program, multiple programs. Hopefully you don't get taken advantage of. Like you do that, right? And the other one is you do it totally on your own. Now, when you look at like success, like one of them you're rarely going to fail. Like you do a Strong, like it's very unlikely you'll fail Strong Together, right? Or like, you do like a franchise. Like they should be proven by now. You're going to get a lot more help when you have a coach and you're learning all that information. You're going down that rabbit hole. So that's a good position. The last place you want to be is not doing anything, right? Just being like, I'm going to work harder. It's going to work better. And I'll just figure it all out on my own. Like that's like 1 in 100. And I know some people are nuts and they think like I am the 1 in 100, but it's just like, it doesn't really work like that. But then if you think about it like that, where it's like, all right, so I have 2 out of 3 chances of these 2 paths, and they both essentially cost me the same amount of money, then it becomes a no-brainer. Why not go with a convenient one? I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I don't know if I would do it the same way if I was doing it over, if there was someone like us, like a Strong Together kicking around that I could have just hopped on board with. I don't know, It's tough, just something to think, because I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but like, you know what I mean? Because either way, you're spending the money. If you're thinking about it like money-wise, at least.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to like values, right? Like whatever it is you're going to value the most. Like, and I think a big piece comes down to like just alignment. Do these people seem to believe in the same things I believe in? Is this like something I actually like really feel passionate about? Do I like just like how it goes in the vibe? So it's kind of the same as like when people pick a gym, right? It's the same thing. If I go to like a gym, I'm like, I'm going to train there enough. I'm like, I don't really like the modality, and I don't really think it's going to get me what I want, and the vibe seems weird. It's like, at the end of the day, right? To your point, it's like you could choose path A or path B, but if it kind of like speaks to you in that sense, which might sound a little bit like woo-woo, it's like, that's when it's like, all right, this is like, I just kind of get these guys, or I get this thing, and they get me, and this is cool. These are the people I'd want to be around. Then it's like, that's kind of like the intangible piece, right? Outside of like the time and the money. And it's just like, all right, does this going to resonate with me? And is it going to kind of like fire me up to like be part of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was kind of the thing. If I look back at like, again, just like pushed into something different, like even looking back at like training for hockey, training for sport, every team had a different culture. And it's not that some teams didn't want to win. Well, they all wanted to win, but they might have had different aspirations, but just the makeup of the team was different. So if you can find the team that is going to, move to a championship, which gets you to your goals, and it's just like fun to be a part of that team, that's the team that, you're going to align to. If it's like, they're going to win, but those guys are a bunch of dickheads, it's like, well, I'm probably not going to want to play on that team, or they play a style that doesn't really suit me, right? So it's kind of like mixing that last piece in. I think that's always kind of like the key element.
It's kind of like just making sure that it's a good fit. You like the culture, you like where you're at, you like the people, and then that all kind of feeds in, like circular into like staying kind of like being pushed by other people, being supported by other people, innovations that are happening all around you are being shared with you versus you having to figure it out, which allows you to just accelerate a lot faster and keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because like, no matter how logical something is, if it doesn't like kind of work on that level, it's not going to work. Or if it like feels really good, but logically it's a dumb decision, it's like, well, feels good, but it's going to hurt for a long time. Like you just kind of got to like, both kind of got to work together. But to your point, yeah, and it's like, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people go for is they like think it has to be hard, so they make it hard. And some people are unwilling just to like opt in for something that could be easier. And then some people want the easy thing, and then they're like, I don't want to do any work though. And it's like, you kind of got to mix A and B.
Yeah. Or the people, or like what's super common, right? Especially in like our world where they just want it to be super hard. And yeah, and it can't be easy, So it's like, there's almost like a little bit of self-sabotage in there maybe of some sort, but it's like, it needs to be hard. I need to earn it at all costs. I will not take the easy route, even though like, even if it feels, smells, or looks easy, I don't want it. I want to go the hard route. Like I want to be bumped and bruised and bloody at the end of this whole thing.
Yeah. And like truthfully, that was more like me when I got started. I was like, it can't be easy. People are like, just do this. I'm like, that won't work. It's too easy. It was like, okay, like, but legitimately, I didn't know what I didn't know, but even that was just a piece I put in front of me as well. And I don't think I'm like super uncommon for this industry. There's a lot of people that are like that, or they feel like if they've got to eat a bunch of shit before they can be successful.
Yeah.
And you can do the work, but it doesn't mean it's got to be hard.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think we made the point. We got the point across today, I hope. I mean, that was my big thing that I was thinking about. It's just like, there's really a couple ways to do it, and two of them are successful. You go completely on your own, you get help, or you join a bigger organization. And like you said, there's you got to kind of pick your poison and know which way to go, but you got to know going on your own. That's the hard one, So we always recommend to go at it together with people. But yeah.
Kind of like the saying goes, right? If you want to go, go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. It's the same with your team. It's the same with your business. It's the same with all of it, right? You might be able to make some quick traction on your own, just doing whatever. But typically, if you want to go for a long haul, you need to have people around you. It's the same in your business. It's going to be the same like in your business with your staff, and it's going to be the same outside of your business, surrounding yourselves with people that are going that way, because getting one win isn't really the game. It's like winning like long term. It's kind of like you said. I think the stat is after 5 years, 81% of businesses fail. After 10 years, 96% fail. Mm-hmm. So you want to surround yourself with people that are always going to stay in the game.
Yeah, that's real. That's real talk. All right. Good stuff, guys. Good finish there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you liked this podcast. We gave you some nuggets, or not really nugget filled today, but at least you got some things to consider. We're trying to challenge you, think out of the box, and think clearly, and keep taking action. So if you like this, though, go ahead, comment, share. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you want to hear some more info, make sure to join our Facebook group, Gym Business for Fitness Professionals. Get in there. Evan and I are both in there kicking around, and also go to Strong Together Fitness to check us out. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks for listening to the Gym Business Podcast. If you have any questions or want to hear more, head over to Facebook and join the Fitness Professionals group. If you want to learn more about Strong Together, go to www.strongtogetherfitness.com, and you can download our ultimate strategy guide on how to create a six-figure fitness business in under 90 days. We'll catch you next time.